Hmm?
Do you know the Zoom login? Don't say it out loud. Do you know it? Okay. We're streaming on YouTube.
Okay. The Zoom login. See, you should have asked early.
Well,
You can ask Shine.
yeah, last time it automatically, but for some reason we got kicked out.
I think Vedanta classes. You can ask Shine.
I've asked Swamiji. So I'll start that one when it comes through. In the meantime, we're already live on YouTube.
Okay. So we'll start. Shri Gurubhyo Namaha Harihi Om. Sahana Bhavatu Sahanu Bhunaktu Sahaviryam Karvavahai Tejasvinavadhitamastu ma vidvishavahai. Om Shanti 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 Harihi Om. Asato ma sadgamaya tamaso ma jyotirgamaya mrityurma amritam gamaya Aviravirmayedhi. Om Shanti 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 Harihi Om. Sarva Vedanta Siddhanta Gocharam Tam Agocharam Govindam Paramanandam Sadgurum Pranatosmyaham. Let we be protected, let we be nourished. Let we strive with energy and vigor. Let our study be enlightening and not give rise to hostility. Om peace, peace, peace. Lead us to truth and not to untruth. Lead us to enlightenment and not ignorance. Lead us to immortality and not death. Let the self-manifest Atman grow in me. Om peace, peace, peace. I bow to Govinda, whose nature is bliss supreme, who is the Sadguru, who can be known only from the import of all Vedanta, and who is beyond the reach of speech and mind. So, as usual, I ask David to read from the complete works of Swami Vivekananda.
Swamiji, I can read something, but...
No, I'll read.
Okay.
That's why I brought this. You can ask Kavita. She might.
Because we're not on Zoom, Swamiji, so we cannot ask.
No, text.
Okay.
I did not bring my. So David has sent this text from the complete works of Swami Vivekananda. The next point is that ignorance is the great mother of all misery. And the fundamental ignorance is to think that the infinite weeps and cries, that he is finite. This is the basis of all ignorance, that we, the immortal, the ever pure, the perfect spirit, think that we are little minds. So like there is a saying of Sri Ramakrishna, Pancho bhuter fade, Brahmo pore kade. We entrapped in 5 senses and 5 elements. Brahman weeps as it were, because he becomes infatuated with them. What you do, you can go out and talk to him, quickly find it, either from Shayan or from Kavita. So this is the basis of all ignorance, that we, the immortal, the ever pure, the perfect spirit, think that we are little minds, that we are little bodies. It is the mother of all selfishness. As soon as I think that I am a little body, I want to preserve it, to protect it, to keep it nice, at the expense of other bodies. Then you and I become separate. As soon as the idea of separation comes, it opens the door to all mischief and leads to all misery. So this is a trick. The thing is how that indivisible self, thinks that it is divided. So it is because, got it? So it is because of the influence of Mahamaya. And what is that Mahamaya? That Swamiji has already said that it is ignorance, ajnana, or prakriti, as we know through the yoga philosophy. But ajnana is the Vedantic standpoint, that we do not know our real nature, what we really are. So we have to explore this and to find out that we are not divided, we are not partitioned, we are not fragmented. So that is what we study for, to find that truth. So I become separate. Now as soon as this idea of separation comes, it opens the door to all mischief and leads to all misery. This is the utility, that if a very small fractional part of human beings living today can put aside the idea of selfishness, narrowness, and littleness, this earth will become a paradise tomorrow. But with machines and improvements of material, so what we see in the world, because of division, people are trying to, say, make more money. They want to have and hoard things. So it is all because of this idea of separation. One wants to excel from others. So this happens because of this idea of separation. So, and with machines and improvements of material knowledge only, it will never be, sorry, let me read it, the whole sentence. This is the utility, that if a very small fractional part of human beings living today can put aside the idea of selfishness, narrowness, and littleness, this earth will become a paradise tomorrow. But with machines and improvements of material knowledge only, it will never be. These only increase misery. All this helps the so-called advancement in science and materialism and consumerism. So these only increase misery as oil poured on fire, increase the flame all the more. Without the knowledge of the Spirit, all material knowledge is only adding fuel to fire, only giving into the hard hands of selfish man one more instrument to take what belongs to others, to live upon the life of others, instead of giving up his life for them. And the great danger is coming in the form of artificial intelligence. Many work will be replaced by the machine. That will add to the misery of human being. Anyway, is it practical? Is it practical to find that unity? Yes. Is another question. Can it be practiced in modern society? Truth does not pay homage to any society, ancient or modern. Society has to pay homage to truth or die. So it may look that it may be not practical, but whatever it is, we are to practice this. But actually it is extremely practical. And Swamiji has said that in practical Vedanta. Society has to pay homage to truth or die. Societies should be molded upon truth, and truth has not to adjust itself to society. If such a noble truth as unselfishness cannot be practiced in society, it is better for man to give up society and go into the forest. That is the daring man. There are two sorts of courage. One is the courage of facing the cannon, and we know that soldiers face it. And the other is the courage of spiritual conviction. An emperor who invaded India was told by his teacher to go and see some of the sages there. After a long search for one, he found a very old man sitting on a block of stone. The emperor talked with him a little and became very much impressed by his wisdom. He asked the sage to go to his country with him. "No," said the sage, "I am quite satisfied with my forest here." Said the emperor, Said the emperor, "I'll give you money, position, wealth. I am the emperor of the world." "No," replied the man, "I don't care for those things." The emperor replied, "If you do not go, I'll kill you." The man smiled serenely and said, "That is the most foolish thing you ever said, Emperor. You cannot kill me. Me the sun cannot dry, fire cannot burn, sword cannot kill. For I am the birthless, the deathless, the ever-living, omnipotent, omnipresent Spirit. This is spiritual boldness. While the other is the courage of a lion or a tiger. In the mutiny of 1857, there was a Swami, a very great soul, whom a Mohammedan mutineer stabbed severely. The Hindu mutineer caught and brought the man to the Swami, offering to kill him. But the Swami looked up calmly and said, "My brother, thou art he," and expired. So this is another instance what good is to be talk of the strength of your muscles, of the superiority of your Western institutions. If you cannot make truth square with your society, if you cannot build up a society into which the highest truth will fit, what is the good of the boastful talk about your grandeur and greatness if you stand up and say, this courage is not practical? Is nothing practical but pounds, shillings, and pence? If so, why boast of your society? That society is the greatest where the highest truths become practical. That is my opinion. So this is what Swamiji said. Now this is very difficult to understand because we live most of the time in this dualistic world, and to contemplate that unity which is our real nature. So this is very difficult to contemplate. That is why we are reading Vivekachudamani, how to discriminate, how to find truth, how to find that unity, which is our real nature. We have already covered up to 406th shloka. So just to give you a little background, before this, Sri Shankaracharya, our great teacher, said, Maya matram idam dvaitam. Dvaitam means separateness. Dvaita, this word is dvi-ita, separateness. So dvi means the sense of difference. Why we find sense of difference? It is because we find difference of a category from another category, and within the category, and also in the same person also we find differences. That means that Vijatiya, Swajatiya and Swagata Bhed. So this we find, but this is only apparent. In reality, it is not true. Even if you ask a scientist, he will say, the whole world, the whole universe is nothing else but energy, and energy alone only manifesting in various forms. So what Upanishad said? Upanishad said, Brahmi Vedam Amritam Purastat. Brahma alone existing, and that is immortality. In front of you, back side of you, in both the sides, up and down, everywhere it is Brahman and Brahman alone. But we see many. So we see many because we are in ignorance. As Swamiji has said, we are in ignorance. In sleep, there is one person only, the sleeper, the dreamer. But because he projects himself, so he dreams manyness. He divides, he projects himself, and he looks at it differently. So, Brahmi Vedam Amritam Purastat, Brahma Paschat, Brahma Dakshinatah, Uchcha Uttaratah, Adhaschodham Cha Prasitam, Brahmi Vedam Vishwamidam Varishtam. So, Brahman alone is real. Scientists will say everything is energy. So, for him, we don't certify what scientists are saying. What we are saying, for scientists, it's objective knowledge. But even from objective point of view, they understand this, though they don't practice it. But theoretically, they understand this truth that the whole universe is nothing else but energy and energy alone, and manifesting as electron, proton, neutron, or subatomic particles, maybe quarks, and this now quantum. So whatever manifestation it may be, for them, the objective world is real. But we are studying a different world. That is what? Subject. These are seeming as dream. Dreams are projected. So they are seeming. But dreamer is real all the time. Anyway, let us go ahead. Ananyatvam adhishthanat aropyasya nirikshitam panditaihi rajju sarpado vikalpo bhranti jivanaha. So the wise person, what he knows? Ananyatva adhishthanam. That suppose there is a rope. On that we make a mistake and we find a snake. But a snake is not there. It is the substratum that is important. Similarly, I give example like water and make a pencil and it looks like it tilted, but it's not tilted. So what is the point? Point is substratum is not affected by whatever it appears. It may appear differently, but substratum is never obstructed. So it is one with that. When you are driving, you may see water at distance. And you know it has no existence of its own. And what? As soon as you go there, it vanishes. What it means? That appearance has no existence of its own. It is one with the substratum. Now, as we have already explained, but this is, like one should remind oneself again and again. What about this reality? So we have four kinds of reality. One is alik satta. Alik satta means it has false existence. When I say like horn of a rabbit, that means it does not exist, we know. But it gives a sense of existence. Then comes our dreams. Dreams are pratibhasik. Like when we stand in front of a mirror, we see our mirrors. We see our image. We know that it does not exist. So we don't give any importance to that. Similarly, our dreams. But this, what we are behaving as of now, it's called practical or transactional existence. When you are in it, you have to honor all the rules. So what Vedanta says, it is called transitional existence. That's a vyavaharik satta. What does it mean? In vyavahara, it is there, but it is like dream. It's not dream. Then you'll be at fault. It is like dream, but it's not ultimate dream, ultimate satta. That's called paramarthik satta. That's why paramarthata. Only one existence, that is what we call paramarthik satta, supreme reality. And on that, because we are standing on that, that's why we can understand each other, converse with each other. So anyway, we go forward. Ananyatvam adhishthanat aropyasya nirikshitam panditaihi rajju sarpadu vikalpo bhranti jivana. So, in this life also, we should think that though we may see differences, but actually it is not difference, it is one with Brahman. This we have to convince ourselves, this one with Brahman, it's not separate. Sometimes some wrong also may come to us, but it is not different. That sannyasin laughed at him. They said, this is the funny thing that you have said. Nobody can kill me. And you want to kill me? You cannot kill. So anyway, we go to the next. Now, how to get rid of this? This is very important. How to get rid of it? Because it is so ingrained within us, it's very difficult to get rid of it. Chitta mulaha vikalpo yam chitta bhavi na kaschana. So all this happens because of our chitta. Chitta means as if conscious. See what chitta? Chit means consciousness. So somehow the reflection of the reality is reflected in our mind, a part of our mind or function of our mind. Our inner organ has 4 aspects. So one is mana, buddhi, intellect, mind, intellect, and chitta and ego, ahamkar. So mind, intellect, and chitta. So chitta is like this field. It looks like it is vibrating, it is animating. But in reality, it is only because of reflection of truth. So in this field, we create. We create because of our desire. Like we create our dreams because of our inherent impressions. So chitta mulaha vikalpo yam chitta bhavi na kaschana. When there is absence of chitta, this vikalpa, sankalpa vikalpa. See, when we want to know something or want to desire something, what happens? We have some questions, alternates, sankalpa, vikalpa. So chitta mulaha vikalpoyam. This vikalpa is because of chitta. And when there is absence of this reflecting entity, all these are not there. Ataha chittam samadheti prattak rupe paratmani. Therefore, one should absorb this chitta in samadhi. Where to absorb? In a real self. Prattak rupe para atmani, in supreme self. Again, supreme self is not there. It is within us. So, running translation is, this apparent universe has its root in the mind. So, mind and chitta, another translation is mind. And never persists after the mind is annihilated. Therefore, dissolve the mind by concentrating it on the Supreme Self, which is the inmost essence. So our inmost essence, what we have to do, we cannot stop seeing this diversity. What we can do, we can understand the fallacy of seeing diversity and absorb in our real self. So that is what he's saying. All the trouble, as Swamiji has also indicated, Panchabhuter fade, Brahma pore kade. That means when entrapped in 5 elements, as if entrapped, and he thinks, I am small, today also we think that we are small, we are limited. So because of this thinking, we behave in a funny way. But we have to remove this idea that we are not small. It is all an illusion that we are thinking that we are small. So it all happens in our chitta, in our that mind stuff. We say mind stuff. So chitta mulaha vikalpoyam chitta bhavena kaschana atah chittam samadheti pratyagrupe paratmani. So there is only one way to absorb this diversity in the self, and that is what is called samadhi. Samyak adhyate samadhi. So when we think, why we think? Because of our desire, because of our inherent tendency. So what we have to do, gradually we have to cultivate this, that gradually we have to meditate on our real self. So Guru gives us a hint. He says, okay, this is it's a chronic disease. So what you do, this is a mantra you recite. And this is the process you meditate. And what is meditation? So here we'll read these three shlokas, very nice and very poetic. How to meditate? What is the process of meditation? So this is Advaitic, but what we do like we have a chosen ideal and we meditate on him. Why we meditate? To forget our dualistic existence. Gradually we are absorbed in him. We are absorbed in him. So how to meditate? So Sri Shankaracharya says, Kimapi satata bodham kevalananda rupam nirupamati velam nityamuktam niriham niravadhi gaganabham nishkalam nirvikalpam hridikalayati vidwan brahma purnam samadho. First I'll read the running translation. The wise man realizes in his heart through samadhi the infinite Brahman, which is something of the nature of eternal knowledge and absolute bliss. Why something? Because it cannot be indicated. It is the subject, is the reality. So that reality, so that the realization of that reality comes leaving all other reflected existences. So the wise man realizes in his heart through samadhi. Samadhi means all as yoga chitta vritti nirodha. That means cessation of all mental modification. So how to do that? It's difficult. That is why Eka Tattva Abhyasa, that's why mantra is given, and meditating on the same over and over again, million times, over and over again, chanting the same name, so that mind becomes one-pointed and absorbed in the ideal. So the wise man realizes in his heart through samadhi the infinite Brahman, which is something of the nature of eternal knowledge. Something, because we cannot say what it is. Sadasad akhila bhedatita. It cannot be indicated as sat, existence, or asat, non-existing. He is beyond all limitations, all differentiations. And absolute bliss, which has no exemplar, which transcends all limitations, is ever free and without activity. Without activity, why? There cannot be any work. Work happens when we have differentiations, when we have duality. Then only the instrument, and the instrument is by which we are to work, and there should be a work. So all this differentiation, because of that action happens. So which transcends all limitations, is ever free and without activity, and which is like the limitless sky, indivisible and absolute. See, these are words which is difficult to comprehend. But with our Shraddha, one-pointed devotion, we are to hold it fast. And then we see the result. So, kimapi satata bodham keval ananda rupam. This is bliss absolute. So, say in deep sleep, we experience a little joy when there is absence of other diversities. Think of that, where we go to that state with knowledge, where there is no diversity, so it will be full of bliss. In Sushupti, we go with and we merge in ignorance. That's why we say, oh, Sukhamaham aswapsam na kinchit avedishan. Oh, I slept very well, but I did not know anything. So that shows that our ignorance, we were absorbed in ignorance. But if we can achieve that with our awareness, then it is full of bliss. So that is Kevala Ananda Rupam. Nirupamam Atibelam. There is no alternate example how to tell this. It cannot be spoken. And it has no limitation. Nitya Muktam, ever free. So within us also we feel that we are free. But as soon as we go to world to act, then we are limited. So within, when we have absorbed all diversities, then we can feel this, that we are ever free. Niriham and Niravadhi Gaganabham, and it is like sky. How to? Without limit, sky. Nishkalam Nirvikalpa. Nishkalam means without part. Nirvikalpam, there is no vikalpa, there is no alternate. Hridhi kalayati vidwan. So one has to meditate this on in the heart of his being. What is heart? Not this physical heart. Center of our being. Suppose you are talking with someone and someone called you from distance. So what happens? You could not understand, say, to whom that caller is indicating. So you tell, are you calling me? So hand goes there. That is our center of our being. There we have to meditate. We don't say, are you calling me? Or calling me? No. It goes directly there. So this is the heart where we should meditate. Now we go to the next. Prakriti Vikriti Shunyam Bhavanatita Bhavam Samarasa Samanam Samarasa Samanam Mana Sambandha Duram Manasa Sambandha Duram Nigama Vachana Siddham Nityam Asmat Prasiddham Hridhi Kalayati Vidwan Brahma Purnam Samadho. Similar style. And we go to the next also, we'll get together. Ajaram Amaram Astavat Bhavas Vastu Sarupam Stimita Salila Rashi Prakhyamakhya Vihinam Shamita Gunavikaram Shashwatam Shantamekam Hridhi Kalayati Vidwan Brahma Purnam Samadho. Running translation. The wise man realizes in his heart through samadhi. So through samadhi, what is samadhi? You have to get rid of all outgoing tendency. Totally absorbed in the self. So not willingly you are trying to throw, but more attention is to concentrate in your heart. The wise man realizes in his heart through samadhi the infinite Brahman, which is devoid of the ideas of cause and effect, which is the reality beyond all imaginations, homogeneous, matchless, beyond the range of proofs, established by the pronouncements of Vedas, and ever familiar to us as the sense of the ego. So, and the next is, the wise man realizes in his heart, through samadhi, the infinite Brahman, which is undecaying and immortal, the positive entity, which precludes all negations, which resembles the placid ocean and is without a name, in which there are neither merits nor demerits, and which is eternal, pacified and one. So it looks all words. So let us go through the text. But this has all deep meaning. We are to get the indication by these suggestion of words. So what are those? Prakriti, Vikriti, Shunyam. There is no, this is Prakriti. What we see outside objective world, it's called Prakriti. And Prakriti has deterioration, or it becomes deteriorated. Like now we can see there is fall, all the leaves are falling down, and then it will rot, it will make a mess. So Prakriti, Vikriti, that goes together. Similarly, we have 5 elements. 5 elements. Akasha, Akasha and Vayu, the air, gases. Akasha, space. Vayu, gases. And then fire, energy. And then water, all liquids. And all solid. So it is like a Sankhya philosophy, how that creation happens. Because of Prakriti transformed itself into 5 elements. So that's called Vikriti. Then comes 5 senses and 5 suggestions, Tanmatra. 5 suggestions. See, light. So light is perceived. How? By our eyes. It takes a little part and then it recognizes, oh, it is light. Or this is a picture or photo. So it is taking a little of that, that's called Tanmatra. So Prakriti becomes deteriorated, that means it has 5 elements, then 5 senses, then we have 5 sense organs, then 5 organs of action. An internal organ, mind, man, buddhi, chitta, ahankar, this 24 is called Vikriti, Prakriti and Vikriti. But that which is within us has no deterioration. It is no Prakriti, it is beyond Prakriti. Prakriti, Vikriti, Shunyam, Bhavanatita Bhavam. Even we cannot think of it. Thinking means we think within our mind. So that means the object of our mind. Say sometimes we say scientific truth. That is only to show that, okay, science is also progressing, like I gave the example that everything is energy. It is just to indicate that, of course, like in objective world also there is some progress. We don't certify what they are saying. What we say, okay, like how to find that unity. Even from scientific standpoint, we can find that unity. That is what we say. Now, samarasa samanam, manasa sambandha duram. And it is samarasa. There is no upheaval, there is no differences. Samanam is equal. So these are just words to express that which is our, so that's why we can feel also. We are something which we want, equitable, or something which is equal to all. That's why expression is, then God has made everyone equal. Is it equal? Equal in spirit. That is why expression has come. Nigama vachana siddham. And how we know this? We know through the blessings of Vedas. Nigama vachana siddham. Nityam asmat prasiddham. And this is very popular also. How? I am. If I tell you, you don't exist, you say, no, Swami, I know I exist. How you know? Because it is already known to you. I say, you are not aware of yourself, you are dreaming. No, Swami, I am not dreaming, I am aware of myself. So this is called self-knowledge, swagnya. So this way, this is very popular. Though we identify with body-mind, that's a different issue. But this identity is there already. Nityam asmat prasiddham hridikalaiti vidwan brahma purnam samadho. So in samadhi, the wise man meditates on that supreme being, what is indicated in ourself. Ajaram amaram astabhava swarupam. So it is ajara. That means there is no jara. That means no old age. And amara, it is deathless also. And astabhava, that means now sun is rising, sun is setting. No, it's all the time same. Okay, when you were a child, were you 80% or 20%? No, you were the same, even 100%. If a person amputates one leg or hands, etc., still if you tell him, are you 80% or 50%? He says, no, Swami, I am 100%. So there is no change in our identity. So ajaram amar astabhava swarupam, then stimita shalila rashi prakyamakya vihinam. So it is like ocean without any deflection, without any waves, placid. That is already within us. How to indicate that? This is the way to tell what is a real self. Shamita guna vikaram shashwatam shantamikam. And all vikara, what is out of guna? Sattva, rajas, tama. One is beyond sattva, rajas and tamas. Shamita, and all it has subsided. That's why shashwatam shantamikam, it is peaceful. Hridhi kalayati vidwan brahma purnam samadhu. Wise man meditates in his heart in samadhi, this real self. So I'll read again so that whatever we have discussed, that will be clear. The wise man realizes in his heart through samadhi the infinite Brahman, which is something of the nature of eternal knowledge and absolute bliss, which has no exemplar, which transcends all limitations, is ever free and without activity, and which is like the limitless sky, indivisible and absolute. In our waking state we have work. In our dreaming state also we do some work. But in Sushupti, dreamless state, we don't work. So that state, in our real self, there cannot be any work. Because how to work when Triputi Bheda? See, Jnata, Jnaya, and Jnana. The knower, object to be known, and the process of knowing. All these merge, like what you say, crumbles or shatters, or it merges in one. So anyway, next we go. The wise man realizes in his heart through samadhi the infinite Brahman, which is devoid of the ideas of cause and effect. So cause and effect is in this world only. In your dream also there is cause and effect. And that time it is so logical. But as soon as you come out, then it is no logical. It's fallacious. Which is the reality? The wise man realizes in his heart through samadhi the infinite Brahman, which is devoid of the ideas of cause and effect, which is the reality beyond all imaginations, homogeneous, matchless, beyond the range of proofs, established by the pronouncements of Vedas and ever familiar to us as the sense of the ego, sense of this I, aham. All the time this is there. So this is very popular. The wise man realizes in his heart through samadhi the infinite Brahman, which is undecaying and immortal and positive entity, which precludes all negations, which resembles the placid ocean and is without a name, in which there are neither merits nor demerits, and which is eternal, pacified, and one. Now, this is theory. Very good, very nice. Now, how to practice it? So, in our tradition, we have meditation. How to meditate? Hridaya Kamala Madhye. Like there is a lotus. Just imagine a lotus. Hridaya Kamala Madhye. Rajitam Nirvikalpam. The truth, say in the form of Sri Ramakrishna. It's just a form. Because we cannot conceive something without form. So let us conceive a form that he is present on a lotus. Hridaya Kamala Madhye Rajitam Nirvikalpam. Nirvikalpam means there is no vikalpa. And he is devoid of all divisions. Sadasat Akhila Bhedatitam Eka Swarupam. He is neither existence or non-existence. Because these are words that we use, he cannot be expressed. He is beyond all these limitations. All differentiation is vanished there. Eka Swarupam. Eka means because it is non-dual. We cannot say Eka also. Non-dual. There is no two. Prakriti Vikriti Shunyam. We have already. Prakriti has its differentiations. 5 organs, 5 elements, 5 organs, 5 sense of perception, 5 sense of action. Man, Buddhi, Chitta, Ahankar. This is Vikriti. So here, Prakriti Vikriti Shunyam, Nityam Anandamultim. But he is full of bliss. So you have to consider here. Vimala Paramhamsam Ramakrishnam Bhajama. So we worship him as Ramakrishna. But actually it's the same. He's beyond name also. But because we cannot conceive someone without name, without form, for temporary purpose we take this name and form. Nirupamam, Ati Shukshmam, there is no upama, there is no comparison. It is very, very subtle. Nishprapancham Niriham, and he has no display, and also like playfulness. Nishprapancham, there is no deviation. Niriham is very gentle. He can see Sri Ramakrishna. Gagana Sadrisham Isham, as if he is like sky, space. Sarva Bhutadhivasam, and all the existence, beings are residing in him. How this is possible? Existence is so big and it's small. No. You see, it looks like big. And now, nowadays, you know that there is a gadget here, you put there.
HoloLens.
Yeah, whatever, HoloLens or
I have a few different
VR.
ones.
VR, virtual.
virtual reality and simulator, okay, like simulator. So put like this simulator and you look, oh, I'm in moon now. And outside is moon, such a big world. But actually it is there. We can take this also, like a picture of universe. But this is a small picture, but it's a picture like this. So what looks like big, infinite, but actually it is not. Rather, the existence of this universe is certified, validated by the self. Then only it exists. In your sleep state, the whole thing crumbles. Does not exist. You ask quantum physicists, they'll say, yeah, if you don't see it, it does not exist. It's like flipping and superposition. It does not exist. Reality is no reality nowadays, scientifically also. So, the reality, what we say real, is certified by this. That's why we say, okay, it's real. Like a painting, when you see a painting, you say, wow, wonderful. Then it has value. When you go to movie, well, those are pictures. But oh, very nice. Then it has value. Otherwise, there is no value there. So what I'm saying, it is the person who certifies, validates the reality outside. It's not in real sense. So, Sarvabhutadivasam, he is the resident or he is the only existence on whom all exists. Triguna Rahita Satchid Brahma Rupam Varanyam, and he is beyond three binding forces, qualities, Triguna, Sattva, Rajas and Tamas, is beyond that. Satchit, he is awareness and he is existence absolute. Brahma Rupam Varanyam, and he is Brahman. Brahma has a roop, like Brahma Rupam. So we conceive Sri Ramakrishna, he is Brahman. Varanyam, Vimala Paramhamsam Ramakrishnam Bhajama. Why then he has come? Vitaritum Avatirinam Jnana Bhakti Prashantihi. He has incarnated this time to distribute knowledge, devotion, and peace. Pranaya Galati Chittam. Why? Because he is so compassionate. Out of compassion, he wants to impart this knowledge to us. And he saw how we are suffering. Jiva Dukkha Sahishnum. So he could not bear the suffering of humanity. That's why he incarnated and he imparted this knowledge. Dhrita Sahaja Samadhim Chinmayam Komalangam. And he would go to Samadhi and at the drop of his hat, though he had no hat. That's a phrase. That means in no time he would go to Samadhi. Dhrita Sahaja Samadhi Chinmayam Komalangam. And he is full of consciousness here, or his consciousness itself. Chitmayam is consciousness alone. And Komalangam, very delicate, his limbs are. Vimala Paramhamsam Ramakrishnam Bhajam. So this way we can have a name, have a form, we can meditate on him. On him means our real self. Not a person. He is our real self. Gradually you will understand this in course of time. So, time is up. Any question?
Let's see, if anyone has any questions, they can put them in the chat. Steve had a question, but he said, I think you already answered my question without even reading it.
Thank you, Steve.
Any other questions?
Very nice. No question means, yeah.
I was wondering, I was recognizing that verse you were just reciting. Was there some overlap between the Vivekachudamani verses, or I was recognizing some, but now I don't know if you were reading the Vivekachudamani verses or not.
Okay. This question can be answered by Swami Abhedanandaji, who composed. Okay, but these are central idea. Maybe he has taken some cues from there.
Okay.
And many words are similar, but that's pedantic, not spiritual. Anyway, that's good. Okay, so we'll see our prayer. Om Purnamada Purnamidam Purnat Purnamudachyate Purnasya Purnamadaya Purnamevavashishyate. Om Shanti Shanti Shanti. Hari Om Tatsat. Sri Ramakrishna Arpanamastu. One thing I should tell that whatever knowledge that we have, even knowledge of physics, or this, it is called aparavidya, not supreme. It is called empirical knowledge. Even science will tell this is empirical knowledge. So it has no ultimate existence. We know, we have relative knowledge, say like gravity. Now gravity, Newton, the idea of gravity, that G is constant, gravity is constant. But now it is no more like that, it's relative. So this develops with observation and also like analysis done by our scientists. So it is not necessarily this, but why we take sometimes? Now one can argue this is also objective knowledge, but this has indication to the self, whereas scientific knowledge is only observing and giving conclusion about the nature. We are not interested in knowledge that related to nature, but to find unity, how to do it. So that's why we give some example. Like a scientist will say everything is energy. So this way we take a little just to corroborate the truth underlying in the teachings of our teachers and also in our Vedas. Just to support it. We don't give much importance to this knowledge. Because today whatever is there, tomorrow it will change. Today I saw what is the speed of gravity. Gravity is no more absolute entity. Previously time was absolute entity, but now after Einstein, time has no absolute entity. It's only fourth dimension. Similarly, gravity also is not absolute. It travels, it distorts. Because they observe, so they have given this value. So this is empirical knowledge. Or we can say, okay, transactional in our point of view. It has no absolute existence.
Swami,
Yeah.
you were saying that the human mind cannot think of Brahman. But does Brahman think? But Brahman alone think?
Because you are Brahman yourself.
Say that again?
You are in reality Brahman.
Right, but I can't think of Brahman. But
Because you cannot think. When you think about something else, and now I'm thinking about a glass of water. What you can do, you can get rid of all differentiation and find what you are really.
Meaning, Swamiji, there's no real difference between us and the cup on your table.
Correct.
And you and that pile of books.
Even this is also like swapna, like dream. In dream, you create all these things. Say, in my dream, in this real world, I have created all this. Suji is there, then Barbara, the normal. Okay, so all this is created by our mind.
so if I'm one with Brahman, I'm no longer thinking.
No.
I've transcended.
As of
thinking.
now, you are identifying with your body mind.
Right,
So now with body mind you are thinking.
but I'm not capable of thinking of Brahman.
No. With that mind you are not capable.
Right.
But when you get rid of this, you are Brahman.
By get rid of it, you mean transcend the mind?
Again, transcend. Why take another word?
Well, what word should I use?
Get rid of all this wrong identity. What you really are. Like we are wearing so many shirts. And get rid of that. Even get rid of body, get rid of mind, get rid of intellect, get rid of... then you are there. These are all the time you do. In your deep sleep, all these are absorbed in ignorance. So it is all the time it is happening.
But deep sleep, there's darkness, there's not divine light.
But you are there. How you know that you slept very well?
Because I was there.
Because you are there, yeah. Though you say, I did not know, that means you were in ignorance. That is why knowledge has not dawned unto you. So it is waking in our own real self.
Waking up to our own real self?
Waking in, not up.
Waking in.
I am really this. Yeah. Thank you.